Mike's Daily Podcast.
Way in the cafe. It's Mike Matthews. Welcome to the show called
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Yesterday's show, I was basically running on zero sleep, but today I've got lots of sleep. Can you tell me I can't stop with a peep? I gotta go in. I gotta make a big creep out of myself. I'm gonna walk around this podcast. In the beginning, I'm gonna dance around this intro. You're gonna like it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna tell all your friends about it. They're gonna go, whoa. Because this is Mike Matthews when he's had some sleep and lots of caffeine, and he sings Mike's Daily Podcast. And you go, hey, I enjoy this show. I'm going to listen. I'm going to tell all my friends because the show that Mike does is really good.
Podcast.
Informative and different.
Yeah.
That's what I got to say. Hey, I didn't make it to the beach yesterday. That's okay. That's okay. The best laid plans of mice and men often go astray. And I'll tell you, I'm glad I didn't go to the beach because the rules. I can't follow all these rules in California. I can go to the beach. I can't go to the beach. If I'm on the beach, I got to socially confiscate myself away from people and distance myself. I'm at the beach. I can't go near anybody. I'm not supposed to be at the beach. I can get cited. I don't know. I can't park near the beach. Parking lots are closed. I need to park next to the beach because I have a dog who can't walk. That means I have to lift his 85-pound frame, bring him out to the sand, and lay him down to enjoy the sand, which he's probably going to go, Mike, what are you doing? Because I did this similarly in Shasta, Mount Shasta, because he had not experienced snow. So I had to pick him up and put him in the snow. And he looked at me like, what the heck are you doing? And at this point, as a dog owner, you go, what? I go to the utmost, to the lengths of the absolute lengths for my dog. And now here he is. He's still full of life and loves to eat things and will lick
And here's today's podcast picture.
your face till you say stop. I can't take anymore. He just can't walk, so I still do it. As long as he is still in there and not in pain and enjoying life, I will be there for him. I'm a dedicated dog daddy. That's how it goes. But I could not take him to the beach yesterday because I don't know the rules. I don't know the rules. Can I go on the sand, walk out on the sand? The podcast picture today, I'm not in the sand. I'm in the ferns. I'm on Willow Trail in Podcastro Valley. I took my dog there once. One time we walked there. He had a good time. Basil did. He said, I'm going to walk over here. I'm going to walk over there. I'm going to walk in the poison oak, Mike. It's going to get on your skin later because it's on my fur. Thank you, Basil the boxer. Anyway, it's tough. And I just want to throw this out there that Rob Thomas of Matchbox 20, along with Gavin DeGraw and Chris Daughtry, are going to do a special fundraiser for the Humane Society and a bunch of other animal rescue type organizations online on Thursday at 4:00 live on a bunch of different websites, just because they feel bad for the pets too out there. Because the animal shelters don't have as many people running them anymore because they can't go outside. So these dogs are being neglected and cats. So we just need to remember our furry friends. So what's this podcast about today? Well, lots of things. One of them, not knowing the rules. What the heck is going on? In California, we've got Gavin Newsom being ever so careful, covering his tuchus every inch of the way, saying, well, we could go back to work, but we shouldn't, we can't, we won't. People are still at risk. Dance. So we got Georgia opening and a couple other places opening, and we'll see what happens if the coronavirus infected people, if that list explodes because they decide to take a little risk. But at some point, everybody has to take a risk and start opening and taking the chance again. Because as I watch this hawk fly by cafe anyway, as I look out the window, I'm reminded that they have no rules. Hawks. They just fly. They just catch the wind. The only rule they have to follow is their belly. I'm hungry. I gotta eat. or I need to mate. Whatever they think, they have to continue on, and this is their rules. Oh, by the way, so recently, I can't go too far into this, but I will just say, someone with a porno addiction. Okay, somebody brought up something very funny about porn addiction. There's nothing funny about it. It's an addiction. All addictions are bad. But here's the thing my friend said. I will never forget this. This was so funny because apparently this person with a porn addiction was watching porn at work. And I just want to say, and I'm going to keep this clean, everybody. Here's the thing is why do you have to bring it to work? Is your memory that bad? Do you have that poor a memory that you forgot what everything looked like? So you have to watch it at work? So you have to, why? Why? It's just, can you just leave it at home, at a distance? Why do you have to bring it into work? At the end of the day, this porn addiction led to someone losing their job. And that's just, I'm sorry, that's just how it goes. Well, it's more complicated than that, and I can't go into it here on this podcast, but just suffice it to say, there is a time when you have to leave things. Addictions need to be left outside of the workplace. We could talk about drinking. That's something that needs to be left out of the workplace. We could talk about all the other addictions there are that need to be left out of the workplace. You know, I know, this is the way it has to be. You lead to all kinds of issues and problems. All right, I have a caffeine addiction. And I have tried to quit coffee. Recently I did. Actually, my body told me, you've got to stop drinking coffee. You're drinking too much. I got a really bad stomach ache that stayed with me for a couple of days. And I had to say enough. But at the same time, so I don't drink that much coffee as I used to. I remember I would drink about 8 cups a day, and now it's down to 1. So I'm working on it. Just all I'm saying is you got to work on it, everybody. Work on those things that are leading you in a bad direction. Work on it to eliminate them, is all I'm saying. Just work on it. You don't have to go cold turkey, although you probably should, but that never ends up good because you just relapse. But work on it. It's a progress. It's a process. Anybody who's been through, Alcoholics Anonymous will tell you, Alcoholics Anonymous, it's a process. Several steps. And that's all I can really say about that. At any rate, we're outside a cafe anyway. We're bringing you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley Ton today. The last place on earth, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley Ton today. Oh! Good news. We will be, let's see, I just got a note from radio.com. We hope the sooner you will be able to listen to the podcast on radio.com. Thanks for sharing your feedback. I would like to inform that we have removed the other one and kept the selected one. Thanks for understanding and patience. All right, let's see. We're going to test this now and see for sure if Mike's Daily Podcast can be heard now on radio.com. By the way, as an app, this has turned into a huge, they are,
Geico has the insurance.
Oh God, I just had a commercial for Geico on my, all right, that was a plug and now a slug to Geico. Oh, why is there, let me turn the volume off. A slug to Geico would be, I can't think of anything at the moment. I don't use them. I would rather bundle home insurance, the car insurance. What other insurance is there? I try and bundle as much as I can together and pay less. And I don't think Geico does home insurance, last I checked, but I might be wrong. Okay, let's look for, right now, you cannot find Mike's Daily Podcast on what's this? Oh, wait a minute, something just popped up. Let me see what this is. You might be hearing this for the very first time. Let's see if this plays. Uh-oh, what's this? It's playing on radio.com!
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's been almost a week now. Has it?
Uh-oh.
It's been a couple of days. That's how I start the
That's
show.
not the first show. That's not the most recent show. That's Arrest. That was on Thursday. Friday's show was, shoot! They have the most recent one is not the right one. Dang it. Well, I hope this updates. Because I did put on the latest one should be called Oops. Let's see. Why isn't, uh-oh. Do you know what I just realized is I did not upload the last show to, I thought I did, to anchor.com. Let's see, the most recent show should be called Antibody. That's right. Where's Antibody? Oh, Antibody isn't there. Yikes. Anyway, radio.com now is apparently where you can hear this podcast. Yay. Okay. Thank you to everybody at radio.com for finally getting to me and fixing this. And as for Mike's Daily Podcast getting uploaded to Anchor, I will work on that as soon as this podcast is done. But, wow, that's exciting. What I like about Anchor is that it lets me put I think it let me put the podcast picture in there's the podcast picture.
Well, did I do it 2 days ago? 3
And that's good. I spend a lot of time on the podcast picture. I just want you to know. And it's always been a vital part of this show ever since I started podcasting 10 years ago, over 10 years ago. So this is good. Where were we? Oh, so Cafe Anyway. So the thing I wanted to talk about is I'm getting really frustrated with this coronavirus thing, and that if you would have told me coronavirus, COVID-19, and farmers dumping milk, that is ridiculous to me. I hate when I don't understand agriculture and farming, I will admit. But when they have to dump something that they have been working on, cows have been working forever on making delicious milk for you. And now they got to, because of the coronavirus, they have to dump the milk. That just frustrates me to no end. Poor cows. And I was going to post a podcast picture of cows, today's podcast picture, but I did not. So, shucks. Next show, maybe. Because farmers can't get to the workplace, to the places that they sell the milk because of the coronavirus cutting the business. And maybe Georgia is going to get this back to work again. This is the thing, is we're protecting people from getting COVID-19, but at the same time, cows that are working hard to make milk for you, they can't. The milk is just getting wasted and thrown away, which I don't understand. Couldn't you just use that milk to make cheese and then put it part of the humongous cheese storage? Don't we have a massive cheese, what do you call it? Like in Canada, they got all this maple syrup that's locked away. They've amassed all this maple syrup that they use. They call it the maple syrup reserve. Don't we? And we have a cheese reserve, don't we, here in America? That's why the government got us hooked on mac and cheese, because they had all this cheese and they needed to use it. So as a child, you got indoctrinated into mac and cheese and went, ooh, this is delicious. Ooh, I love cheese. I love cheese everywhere, even though it's just solid fat and it's horrible for me. So that's what we got now. Couldn't they just make that milk into cheese? That's what I want to know. I heard about it, and I wanted to find out for sure. Anyway, I'm very upset about this farmers dumping milk. But I guess that had to happen. My lovely lady friend decided to buy a lot of cucumbers, celery, parsley, apples, And what was the other thing she got? I think that was it. Oh, the ginger. And she was throwing it in a blender, making this drink, this green drink, that was supposed to be really healthy for you. And she did that for about 2 weeks and then stopped. And then we had all this cucumber and celery and parsley. And I just had to dive into, like I said, I hate wasting food. So I went and found a bunch of recipes that had to do with celery and cucumber. Celery can be chopped up and put in a salad with cucumber. You can chop that up, mix it all together. It's a little dicey, but you can do that and have like a healthy, mix it with some other things, and you've got a healthy meal. But as I am telling you this now, I am realizing I am not the biggest fan of celery and cucumber. But it adds a freshness to what you eat. I guess you could put it on a sandwich. You could dice it up. These are just thoughts that are going nowhere. Okay, so I did eventually use all of it. Parsley you can chop up, put it on pork chops. You can put parsley in your omelet. Yes. What are your cucumber, celery, and parsley recipes? Isn't that a Simon and Garfunkel song? Parsley, cucumber, celery, and thyme. You can call me 336MM Daily. 3 + 3 = 6. MM as in Mike Matthews. Daily as in what this podcast will try to be for, I guess, a little bit longer. A friend of mine, I sent him a Dennis DeYoung. Dennis DeYoung was the lead singer of Styx. And he sang some of the best songs, biggest songs anyway, like Lady, When I'm With You. And he sang along with, who was that other guy? The one that never ages. So Dennis DeYoung has aged. And the other guy, Tommy Shaw, he has not aged at all. So my friend, I sent him, Dennis DeYoung did this nice thing where he goes, hey, everybody, I'm going to sing for you a song. And he sang, the best of times is when I'm alone with you. Some rain, some shine. And, you know, he also did the song, Domo Arigato, Mr. Roboto. Thank you. Thank you. His voice has not changed, Dennis DeYoung. But my friend, when I send this to him, and he's a huge fan of Styx, all he could say was, Dennis DeYoung looks like an old geezer now. That's not helping. So back to the end of this show, which we are rapidly approaching because it's just gone all over the place. Did you know Sid and Marty Krofft did an amusement park? Speaking of Georgia, they made one and put it in Atlanta, Georgia, in the building that now houses CNN. I find that fascinating. They took up, I think, 2 or 3 floors of this indoor building. It was going to be this massive amusement park that was going to last for years and bring in all these people because it's indoors. And look, you can go in there in the heat of the summer. You'll be cool. You could go there in the midst of the winter when it's cold and you'll be warm. And Sid and Marty Krofft did Land of the Lost, H.R. Puffin stuff, Lidsville, all of these TV shows that kids loved, the Sigmund and the Sea Monster show, Electro Woman and Dyna Girl. And the amusement park did not last very long. I don't think it lasted past a year. I never knew this. And this is stuff that I have found out being quarantined or locked down, as it were. We're in lockdown. That just does not, that is not a helpful way of putting this, but I guess it feels like it, doesn't it? And meanwhile, we're trying to connect with each other on Zoom, which I am anti-Zoom as all get out because of the hacking that goes on with Zoom. But it's up like from a couple 100,000 users up to like 300 million users. That's crazy to me. And their stock has just ballooned. Anyway, at some point we'll all laugh at all this and just go, wow, I remember the good old days when we didn't. This weekend will probably be all these protests over no more shelter in place, that we're done with it. And I don't know, maybe my dialogue, my diatribe here is not helping at all with that. And it's being promoting that I don't want you to go out and protest. I'm just saying that we should get on our podcast and say maybe enough is enough. But at the same time, I don't want you to get infected with coronavirus. That's the quandary in which we live. Hey, I was going to get a job in Colorado Springs and work for a station called Peak FM. And they were number one when I was going to work for them. I was going to get paid nothing, practically nothing. But I was going to live in Colorado Springs, which is a nice area, beautiful area. They got the huge Pikes Peak there, up at the top of the world practically, in the Rockies. And I did not take the job. They weren't paying enough. I didn't want to move to Colorado Springs. I ended up moving to Huntsville, Alabama, which makes no sense, but I did it and I enjoyed the move. It was a nice place to live for a while. But recently, Peak FM did horrible for a long time. Recently, it's been at number 2. And I noticed a lot of the people that I worked where I met before I was going to take the job there, the people that I was introduced to, some of the people are still there. So kudos to them, and I hope they go all the way back to number 1 again. But the kind of music they play is what I play on Sunday mornings on KKDV, which you can listen to at kkdv.com. There's a link at mikesdailypodcast.com. 92.1 FM if you live in the Contra Costa County area. The transmitter's in Lafayette, so you'll be able to hear it if you're anywhere in the general vicinity of that. And I'll be playing some great music that you will enjoy tomorrow morning. Listen online and hear me talk from time to time. And the link is there at mikesdailypodcast.com. Okay, let's say hi to some people right now because we're here and we haven't said hi to them. And I know they're waiting to hear from me because I've been diatribing like crazy lately today.
Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, gift shop supervisor. I'm staying inside, Mike Matthews.
You're staying inside, but you're outside right now.
Mike Matthews, I'm inside in my mind, and I'm wearing a mask because the world needs to see not the real me, but a mask of me. Not the real me, Mike Matthews. And don't stand so close to me, Mike Matthews.
That's a police song.
Who?
The police.
Mike Matthews, don't stand so close to me.
Okay, I won't. I'm standing far away. This is past 10 feet now.
Further, Mike Matthews, further.
All right, 20 feet. Here I am, 20 feet away from Chely Shoehart, our gift shop supervisor. That is the gift shop shut down like everything else because she's not an essential business.
I know, Mike Matthews, it sucks.
Look who else is here. Hello, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer, Mike. Daryl Hall of Hall & Oates also does not have an essential business, but he is keeping his restaurant open somewhere in New York, and it's called Daryl's House, and he is still keeping his employees employed. He has 25 employees employed, and he is selling an essential package, which includes milk and eggs and paper towels. See? Well, I guess restaurants are considered essential, but you just can't sit in them. Just like here at Cafe Anyway, nobody is sitting, they're just walking through. They're taking the little bits of Mike's Daily Podcast and leaving, which is what they should be doing, all staying at least 6 feet apart. Listen to what I say, even if it makes no sense. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. That has been episode 2020. Just like the TV show, just like the year in which you are living right at this moment, just like the eyesight which hopefully you have or are trying to attain through some kind of glassware, or perhaps even laser eye surgery. Or is it LASIK? LASIK. I will shoot you with my LASIK gun. Shoot you with my laser beam. Bow, bow, bow. Hey. Bow, bow, bow. Relax. Don't do it. Don't do that thing you were going to do that got you fired from your job. Don't do that at all. Relax. Don't do it when you want to go to the end of the podcast. Here it is. And you've made it. Good job. And next show will be the wonderful Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. Thank you for listening to episode 2020. The number's so nice we said it twice. 2020. 2020. Mike Matthews out.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye.